What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 149 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
And Larry
was mute.
Oh,
Oops. Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, I'm Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What is going on, guys?
That was a pretty great start to the week.
Yeah, we've only been doing this for 149 times. Like,
well, it's been a week, right?
It has been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
And speaking of it's been a week, we have a Geek Together raid. Welcome from everyone from Geek Together. Thank you for the raid.
Hello, nice. Geek Together. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Wait. Shout out to the chat.
Shout out
to the chat. I see Manny, Gary, Patrick, Ed. Shout out to Ed, Butt Wasted, and Manny, Night Bodega. Thank you guys for being here, and anyone else from the Geek Together raid. We're not really talking about it. We're talking about random stuff this week.
This is one of those wing it weeks.
Yeah.
We have some things, a few different topics, but nothing like specific as one topic.
It was the fact of the matter is like we sat together for the first 5 minutes before this, be like, do you guys what do you guys got? Like anything? Anybody? Bueller?
But we've got good stuff. We've got very, very good stuff. We also have new emotes on Twitch, and Manny wants to know who the basic one, right? Because there's tiers. I put Scott as the basic emote.
Yep. So it's based off of this. It's based off of these.
Yeah.
So cool to see us in emote form. I gotta say that's really kind of a legendary step.
It's pretty cool. I think you have to be tier 2 to get Nate and tier 3 to get Jeremy, because it wouldn't let me do that many tier 1 subs. But they're out there. If you wanna sub, you can get access to that cool emote. I have to throw mine up there too. I'm gonna swap out the skull next week. See if we can get mine up there. We had that idea beforehand, and it was a good one. So thank you everybody who subscribed on Twitch. We super appreciate it.
We appreciate
you guys are awesome. And by the way, it's Batman Day, so happy Batman Day to everyone.
Nice.
Nate brought up Batman.
I brought up Batman, so if you're playing podcastbingo.com/STS guys, you just got a square, hopefully. But yeah, it's Batman Day. I know I'm the resident DC guy here, but I was excited today to announce that, it was Batman Day. A lot of my Toy Photo friends did some really, really cool Batman shots. Had me reminiscing about my favorite memories of the Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
What is your favorite memory of the Bat, Nate?
I gotta say it's probably, 89 Batman and just everything that came from it. The toys, just watching the movie. It's just one of those movies that I go back to, and it's just, it can be on TV or I can just want to watch it. Never gets old. It always brings me joy. So I got to say 89 Batman is probably my most cherished Batman memory. How about you guys?
You know what my most cherished Batman memory is?
What's that?
It has to do with the 89 Batman. But it's when I said we all ate 89 Batman cereal.
Yes.
Yes. I was going to bring up you brought up the cereal there.
It's a good
that was awesome.
Dude, 89 Batman was should be everybody's favorite. The Jack Nicholson doing where does he get those wonderful toys? Come on.
So
dancing into the Prince song,
Yes.
The fact that Prince did an entire Batman soundtrack is amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
Right?
The fact that they got Prince to do that, yeah. That's incredible. It definitely helped pave the way for future, comic book movies. That and Superman, the original.
Yeah.
Before that, you didn't really get to see a lot of those characters on screen, and since then, it just became a huge thing. You got to see all these different Batman movies, and now you got Marvel that's just creating amazing content. DC every now and again they do something that's somewhat enjoyable.
DC tried.
Hopefully we get better stuff down the line.
Hey,
but
I wouldn't count on it, to be honest. But we got Henry Cavill coming back for 3 more Superman appearances.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, talking about good
crazy.
DC news.
And a potential for the Batfleck to show back up for another film.
Yeah, I don't think we really talked about that a whole lot, but that kind of Flashpoint movie where we're going to get old school Keaton Batman, but then we're also going to get a Ben Affleck Batman. So I'm really interested to see how they kind of incorporate that. Like, is he going to be? Are they going to go in the future? How are they going to work those two together because they look so different? Or is it like a multiverse type thing?
So also, do you think we'll also get a cameo of Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman?
A Thomas
that would
Wayne,
be really cool.
Because like I said, you don't put Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the Batman movie for 5 seconds for no reason.
No.
Yeah, right. Like, of all the people that play Thomas Wayne, you have
right.
Which, I mean, he's basically already played Thomas Wayne, right? Because we had the comedian, which was him, which is fairly similar to the Thomas Wayne style Batman. So, like, we've already proven that he did a good, he could do a good job. So, I'm all for it. I say, I really hope they have it.
That way, we'd have 3 Batmans in that movie. Then
That'd be so cool.
If
the more Batman, better.
What if we get what's his name Batman in there too?
George Clooney?
No, Twilight Sparkly.
Oh, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Oh my God! If we got Bat Nipples in, that would be great. George Clooney showing back up for one more.
That would be amazing.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Lots of possibilities. And it could be like, the Spider-Man multiverse, so maybe they'll change it up from the Flashpoint story and just find a way to introduce all these different Batmans in one universe.
Yeah. Another quick shout out to the chat because our friend Josh, Prime to the First, just showed up. So, hey, Josh. Drew is here too. Shout out to Drew.
What's going on, man?
Hey, Drew.
But
what's going on?
But Josh has some exciting news for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think prime-arcade.com drops. Am I right about that, Nate?
That's right. Prime-Arcade drops his new website. So he's going to have some standard arcades just readily available at all times, which is really cool.
Like an official store?
Yeah, official website.
Oh, that is
first.
That's awesome.
Huge shout out to Josh, man. He was also featured in a video by DGDX_official. He's a guy on Instagram. If you guys haven't found him, he does really amazing stop motion photography. And he actually worked with Josh to commission a Battle Axe arcade, which was featured in a video that was featured in a video from Storm Collectibles, which makes the figures. Big toy company. So big shout out to Josh, man. I'm happy for you. It's cool to see your success.
That's awesome.
I saw that because you reposted it, and it was really, really cool.
So here I have a random question. So do they have a Deadshot figure yet?
They do have a Deadshot figure from like Mafex, and I think DC, like Mattel, made one a while ago. But there's not a whole lot of them out there. Yeah, there's a multiverse one. But there's not a ton of Deadshots that I'm aware of. Maybe like an old one from the Arkham games. Why do you ask?
Because, so do you remember the game Silent Scope?
Yeah.
Now this is something for Prime to the First. I was thinking like what he needs to do is I'm gonna ask. There needs to be a Silent Scope arcade, and then have Deadshot playing it.
Nice.
That's all I'm saying. Like if there ever is a Deadshot, especially with the, potentially with other movies coming out, that we might see him.
Was the shit.
Silent Scope was the shit. The one where it had the two screens, right? So you had the main screen that showed the view,
and
then you could look down the scope and see the second screen to what you were looking at. It was genius how they did that, and cool. I don't know. Whenever I hear arcades, I always think of like, what's the weird arcades I remember I used to love to play as a kid, and that was one of them.
Dude, that was amazing.
There aren't any there.
That and the Die Hard side-scrolling beat 'em up that had nothing to do.
You have to play that at my house, Scott.
I know, but it's not the official one. I want the official one, but I don't have 10 grand to drop to buy the official ones that I have found online.
Come over and get 5 minutes of nostalgia, so that way you can save yourself 10 grand.
Exactly.
It looks like DC Direct put out a pretty cool 6-inch Deadshot figure that's available right now on BigBadToyStore.com.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Plus there's some Will Smith looking ones too from Suicide Squad. But
That's the one that I know of. Medicom Toy made one, and it's the Will Smith version.
yeah, that's probably the one I saw. It's cool, but it looks like the Will Smith movie one.
Yeah, it's not like classic. That's one
comic
that
book.
would be really cool that if Mezco did. That seems like a lost opportunity so far.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
soon.
you basically you have the Punisher. You put some little wrist guns on it. You basically have.
But Nate, you know what else is a lost opportunity?
Oh,
All those other people out there who tried to order a PS5 and didn't get one.
I was going to go into another pre-order, but yes, let's go into the PS5. That's me.
Outside of
didn't
so
get a
Larry
PS5.
doesn't even have a PS4 and is getting into his first like next gen real console thing with
It wasn't without.
well, it should say with PlayStation. He got one and you did not.
It wasn't without lack of trying. I tried to grab it a couple of times because Jeremy was Johnny on the spot with those links. Man, as soon as they would go live, boom, it would go up there. And I tried to get it from what was the first one, Jeremy, that you gave us?
Walmart when they
dropped
when
their-
they
I
messed
tried
up.
probably like 5 or 6 times because Scott's like, just keep doing it, man. You'll get it. And so I kept going, and then it went up on Target. Target sold out literally in a matter of seconds. It was in my cart. I was purchasing it, and then it told me there was a problem.
I actually tried to get you one, Nate, through Target just to see, and I got all the way to the like confirm purchase, type in your PIN, and I confirm purchase, and then it like went back to the cart and it was empty, and I was like, oh, they're gone.
Nate,
So
like I
this-
said, offer still stands. Like I said, I got you. Like I said, in case when the day comes and you still can't get it, let me know.
I got some good friends, man.
Yeah.
You guys are always looking.
The setup, but yeah, like because the first couple ones on Walmart told me it was like out of stock, and then you just hit back and then hit it again, and it was like out of stock, and then the like third or fourth time I was like, oh, let me just try this, and it was like boom, like purchased.
Yeah.
Here's your
Scott
order
gave me
number.
hope because Scott's like, man, I tried a few times and it finally went through. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get lucky. And then eventually it just removed it from my cart and I couldn't even add it back. So it was gone.
Yeah. So for those of you out there who were trying to get a PS5, hopefully you got one. Like I said, because like I said, the battle for that was real. Like so they did not stay in stock any place that they were. Plus, I said the release schedule was kind of a shit show.
Well, because
like-
it was all supposed to go at 7 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
But
There were a lot
Walmart,
of people that were not prepared for that drop.
Walmart messed up and did it early,
Well, and
so
then,
everyone else had to like,
well,
oh
they didn't
fuck,
even-
oh, like,
they didn't even mess up, right? So here's what everyone was pissed about. So after the PS5 event, because there was an event I said earlier in that day, Walmart released a tweet saying, oh yeah, hey, it goes on sale tomorrow. Hey, we're not gonna make you wait. So they're like, hey, go and shop now. And so they dropped it literally. They said maybe like an hour or two after the PS5 event. But yeah, no, shout out to I said I don't know if he's a listener, but shout out to my buddy Cliff. So you know who you are, who hooked me up with I said a lot of those links. I said I appreciate that. I said I appreciate
Nice.
those heads up that I was able to share with the guys.
and let's hope that next week's Microsoft pre-order thing goes a little bit smoother. Because that was under chaos trying to get one. I'm glad I got mine, Nate. I'm sorry that you didn't get yours, but it was chaos, man.
If there's any glimmer of hope, Sony announced, they had I think it was a tweet today that said like, sorry for all the mess this week. It was kind of a shit show. We acknowledge that. We're going to try to get some more pre-orders up there. So
Yeah.
if you guys
Trying to get
missed
some more
out,
units.
keep your eyes out there. I think it's still going to be limited though. It's going to be one of those consoles that's hard to find for the first few, like 6 months. So, hopefully you guys can get one. But I'm glad that you all got one at least because I know it's going to be really hard either way.
I'm excited. It's my first PlayStation since PlayStation 2. And I already got that Spider-Man Miles Morales game on pre-order too. So
So
I'm pretty stoked.
what we'll have to do, Larry, is because it has the backwards compatibility. When you get it, one of us will have to give you the Spider-Man,
The regular one?
the regular one, so you can play that first.
Okay.
'Cause-
Cool.
uh,
Cool.
I still have that, and I think I platinumed it. So if you want to borrow
Nice.
it, Larry, you can
Yeah.
have it for a while.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
No, like it's that, and then I said, then you can get if it's Avengers, and we can all basically team up and be the Avengers.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Oh wait, so
cool.
Josh is throwing some shade your way, Nate, saying that your new MO with pre-orders is to miss them.
Well, yeah, so I talked about this last week, but Doc Nocturnal went up last week from Mezco, and I missed that. And luckily, Prime had one. And he's like, I'll hook you up. And now Jeremy's hooking me up because I missed. So yeah, that's my new MO, man. I'm just not having luck lately. Today I got a little lucky, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Nate got lucky today. Everybody, just so you know.
So Ed says there's a special edition of the Miles Morales that comes with the other Spider-Man. Is that Ultimate Edition one? Because I did see that there was one that was more expensive, but I went with the cheaper one.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Cool, thank you, Ed. I'll look into it.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
look into it, but you have a
too.
free version you can just throw in there and it'll work.
I'll just share yours. That's easier.
You don't even spend the $10 more. You can borrow one of ours and get it for free.
Like I said, or worst case scenario, I said I guarantee you that Spider-Man game is going to be a $10 Black Friday game. Like that's
a good point too.
That's like I said, that's going to be the nice thing about this Black Friday, right? Is like you're gonna be able to stack up on a lot of, like I said previously, like I said, games that you've never been able to play just because you've never had a PlayStation. That you can just stock up and play them on the PS5.
Yeah, I already looked at, like, I searched Amazon, right, for PS4, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah. So yeah, once I get it in hand, I'll check it out.
And Larry, both Jeremy and I have a robust library that you can come and borrow games from.
That is a great idea. At least I can check it out first.
Yeah. If you're going to dive in though to the PlayStation library, I think Spider-Man is a great start because that was one of my favorite games of the PS4 generation. And that's saying a lot because there was a lot of games that came out, but Spider-Man definitely stands out as one of my favorites.
I pre-ordered the console just for that game. Like,
I got the Spider-Man console just for the game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Definitely did not disappoint.
Yeah, I saw it. Ian played it over at Jeremy's house sometime this summer, and I saw it. It looks really cool, really fun. Moy says in the chat, oh no, that's not the one I wanted. It's hard. So Moy, whatever. Moy says in the chat, it's still hard to get Funko Fun Days tickets than ordering a PS5.
Oh, are they going to do like a virtual Fun Days or anything this year? Like,
so it already passed, right? It would have been July, and
no.
They made an announcement like the exclusives that they had planned were like themed for that theme, so they wanted to save them for in person. So, which is definitely the right choice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to have themed drops. Like, I couldn't see people really getting excited for like the Tiki ones from the year that we went, right? Like, yeah,
exactly. Some of it you kind of have to be there for, and I think that's kind of what they're gearing towards. And this is an awesome segue, right? So Mike Becker plans out a lot of stuff like in advance, and hires people to come and perform and all that stuff, kind of related to that theme. So I think they just don't want to have to scrap all of that. So it's really cool. And speaking of Mike Becker, did you know that he just launched a Kickstarter for some new hot sauce?
Boom.
That's right. Hot Smack hot sauce. It's available now on Kickstarter. You can pre-order it. You get some hot sauce, of course. But there's this really cool like package of like merch you get too, right? There's a t-shirt, a sticker, an enamel pin, a poster, and the 2 bottles of hot sauce. And you get all that for only $30. So it's a great price. And the proceeds from this, part of it goes to the Baja Scholarship Foundation, which helps kids go to school in Baja, Mexico, which Mike is a big supporter of. So if you haven't already checked out that Kickstarter, I'm going to throw the link in the chat.
Yeah, I'll throw this up here again. Yep.
Larry, I'm looking at the Kickstarter. I'm actually surprised this hasn't actually reached its goal already.
Yeah, me too, a little bit. I think that the advertising is lacking a little bit, right? Like Mike shared it on his Instagram, and all the people who have like commented and stuff. You see the normal names that you'd expect to see, right? It's all of our friends. Patrick's in the chat. I know Patrick's been retweeting and sharing out the links and stuff too. So I know he backed it already. Like Scott Searchcast guys sponsored it already. Yep. Hi, my name is Sean did. Like everybody's kind of like doing it, but it's our kind of little community.
So here's the thing. I got it because I love that poster. I don't know why. I love that poster. I want that poster.
Cool, man. Like I like the logo and the art on it. And it sounds like it's already ready to go. They're just waiting for the Kickstarter to finish. Like I think it's in 19 days. So they're a quarter to their goal so far, only trying to get 20 grand. So if you got a few bucks and want to do the $30 one and get all this cool stuff, go for it. If you just want to contribute, you can always throw in $5 or $10 too. It's super easy. Kickstarter. I threw the link out there. It's also on our Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
Help some kids, man, and get some hot sauce.
Get that hot sauce.
Really cool looking merch too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a sucker for black t-shirts, so Mike had me a new black t-shirt.
Yeah. But you gotta love some hot sauce that comes with some little old school comic vibes to it with the logos and stuff. Like
if you click through all the stuff, like there's somewhere in one of the descriptions where it talks about the next project is going to be some type of hot sauce collaboration with Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. So Mike Becker's got a lot of really cool friends. Like this could turn into something pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, speaking of other things that you could pre-order today.
Yes, please.
Mezco dropped a bomb.
That was the worst segue in the world.
It was really bad.
It was very eclectic.
Is that a bingo square? Is it a crappy segue? A bingo
We
square?
need to make
should be.
Scott ruins and or crappy segue.
Nate kills a segue.
Or forced segue.
Super forced, yeah.
Nate's like, I'm done talking hot sauce. I want to talk toys. Give me a second.
In all fairness, we were all done talking hot sauce.
I felt like we got through the hot sauce.
We
You know,
did.
gave it
We
its
did.
proper respect. I'm excited for the hot sauce. But
You're more
Mezco-
excited for Batman.
I am very excited for Batman. I mean, it is Batman Day, and Mezco hinted, I think it was yesterday, that they're going to be dropping a new pre-order. Be amazing. Like he has been getting the figures early, doing a quick review, and it is the Mezco. Here, let me just share it. Okay.
We need some sharing music. Do, 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 do.
Let's share.
Batman with a grumpy face and Batman with a permanent cowl.
Scott's doing his
got
best.
to take a poop. Yeah.
Scott's doing his best yard sale source right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yard
yeah.
sales source.
Yardsource.com. Check it out, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. This Batman needs to poop. Like that's what that is.
This is like an old The Dark Knight Returns inspired Batman. So he is like kind of an old grumpy man.
Oh, okay.
But this goes with so they've been doing these line of Batman. There was the Ascending Knight, there was the Sovereign Knight, then the Supreme Knight, which is like the third iteration. It's supposed to be Batman like in the future, sort of. And they've also been doing these MDX versions, which is an all black version usually. It's either black and gold or black and silver. This one happened to be black and silver.
Black and yellow. Okay, I'm done.
Well, black and yellow too, because it is Batman. That works, Scott. Anyways, the Supreme,
God, stop me.
it's really, this one basically combines everything that comes with the standard and the PX. So there's a PX version, which is going to be blue and gray, and it comes with different cowls and different batarangs. And this one basically offers everything. So you got like the long ear cowl, but then you also have the short ear cowls. It looks really good. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. You get these
What is okay now? So look, he has poop face, and then what is that smile?
That's like I can't wait to kick your ass smile. Like I'm so excited to fight you right now.
I don't know if I'd call it that kind of smile.
Yeah, that's more like I see a child.
I'm gonna molest you smile.
Yeah,
You're
he's
about to get raped.
Someone's getting it in the pooper smile.
Yeah. And
See,
it comes with
so he has the
with a
two
wired
faces. He
tape.
has taken it in the pooper smile and about to give it in the pooper smile.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, go back.
What's that?
That is like an obnoxiously large, oversized gun for the size of the figure.
Yeah,
It is huge. It's like what is that? A sonic diffuser or something like that? Is
I
what
thought
they
that was
call
his
it.
grapple gun.
Comes with different. So this is like a new thing. It comes with interchangeable emblems. So
That's cool.
It's got a magnetic chest piece that you can change the emblems out to different ones. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this sold out in like 20 minutes. It was a real pain in the ass to get. I had to go through the process probably like 5 or 6 times because it kept failing at the checkout. Their website it just could not sustain volume. And you think they would have an idea by now of, okay, we're probably going to get slammed like we had the last 5 or 6 pre-orders. Something's going to break. So, hopefully they would beef up the site. But no, every single time it's a problem. It's always an issue. But luckily I got mine, so that's all I care about.
Sounds like most stores nowadays, when they do pre-orders for limited things, just expect it to be gone in a couple of seconds.
This sounds completely horrible, right? And I think that I think there's multiple sites and there's multiple companies that are like this. Like, I think that it's one thing to say, hey, we're going to invest in a lot of this, but they're selling them no matter what. So do they really care?
Yeah, not too much. Yeah.
Well, it seems like, they're paying at least more attention to the shots they post. Like, they have a professional reviewer and toy photographer trying to post shots, and I don't know. You just think they would want people to have a more seamless experience and not get so frustrated on their site, because then people immediately go to their Instagram page because they always do a pre-order go up, and then everybody goes back there and starts just talking all kinds of mad shit about how their website sucks and thanks a lot, Mezco. You didn't do anything for me. There's mad.
Sounds like a lot of other fans. I know.
Sounds like Funko, man.
True. It's pretty common in the collecting world, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Surprise, surprise.
Nate bought a new figure. That's a bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of which, if you're not already have your STS Guys bingo square up, go to podcastbingo.com/STS Guys and you can play along.
Bingo!
And shout out to our friend Andrew from the Toy Rewind podcast who made that bingo square for us. And shout out to one of my favorite Twitch streamers and Etsy artist, Valor and Vellum. Thanks for the bits, Priscilla.
Thanks, Priscilla.
I think you're the first person to send us bits, so thank you very much. It's like I don't even know what it is.
What is a
thank
bit?
you.
It's a Twitch thing.
Thank you.
It's a Twitch
but we
thing.
don't know what this is. We are very bad. We are bad Twitch people.
Yeah,
We're really bad at this.
we are.
There's we're gonna get this status and have tiers, and I was like, I don't know what any of that shit means. Like, what do I have to do?
But you know what we're not bad at? It's reviewing Netflix streaming shows.
Oh!
Boom, boom.
Boom! There's that.
Much better segue.
That is a segue.
Well
Oh,
done.
you do it, son.
Laying that segue down.
Puts me to shame.
All right, so what topic is Jeremy bringing up here?
You know what? Like I said, I think we kind of even alluded to this, like I said, our last podcast. But like I said, we can at least talk about it in more detail now. And that is the Netflix docuseries High Score.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys saw it, by the way. Did you see who they got to actually be the narrator for that? Do you know who that was that you heard narrating?
I didn't pay attention. Who was
Does
it?
anybody got it?
I didn't pay attention.
That's Charles Martinet, dude. That's the voice of Mario that they got to be the narrator
no
for that
way.
series. So if everybody wants to know, watch that series. The guy who does Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, all their voices, that's what he sounds like actually in real life. Nate and I met him. He's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm. I was there too.
Yeah. Larry got his thing done
But yeah.
too.
They should have let him just do it once, and that way you would just instantly know.
I
You're
would
like,
have
oh
known,
shit,
yeah.
that's the Mario guy.
Right.
I would have gotten way more interested.
Yeah. That was the thing. I was like, God, that guy's voice sounds so familiar. And I went on, looked it up. I was like, oh shit.
It is a really
cool.
interesting show, though. I mean, like, if you are a video game lover, like most of us are, it really gives you a lot of really cool history about the video game industry and how things kind of came to be. It's a lot of stuff I didn't even know. You think you know a lot, but then you watch stuff like that, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff just came out of nowhere.
It's been on Netflix for a little bit. It's basically like the toys that made us, but for video games, and not done quite as good as the toys that made us. It was still enjoyable. I still liked it.
It's not quite as good as the toys that made us.
But it was in somebody took that toys that made us in a similar vein and was like, all right, we'll make something good. Let's make video game version.
I think the reason why I kind of could even relate to this, like I said, just a little bit more, especially like I said, the last couple episodes, once they started talking about like violent video games and like all the Senate hearings and stuff like that, because we all lived through that period, right? Like, and so like, so that's our history. And I just remember I said I remember back in the day, like when Mortal Kombat like originally came out, that like that was like I said that was the no game. It was you couldn't play you couldn't go watch South Park, and then you couldn't go play Mortal Kombat just because it's gonna corrupt your mind and your soul. And your body.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be it's so bad because you can murder people. Like I said, like here's a question I always have for people is like, so like Sub-Zero rips out the dude's skull with the spine still attached. Are they feeling like I'm going to be able to like emulate that? Because I don't think that's going to happen. Like those are not physically possible things to do.
I think the funny thing though is, like I said, about that entire time, right? Is like I said, if we could only like I said take basically a snippet of video game content from our time right now and just go ahead and just drop it in the past, like, hey, guess what? You think that's bad? I said, look what this eventually becomes.
Yeah, look at Mortal Kombat 11 versus Mortal Kombat 1, right? Like, so just and you can do like the X-rays, right? And like the power move things, which are worse than anything they'd ever seen before.
No, exactly, and honestly, that was probably my favorite.
Back in the day,
episode.
Manhunt. Like I remember Manhunt.
Oh, Manhunt, yeah,
Manhunt, where everyone was like, "Wait, you're teaching people." Like that one was actually where you're like, suffocate this person with like a plastic bag, and you're like, "Oh, this one actually might teach people how to."
Well, and then remember when they released it for the Wii, where you actually had the motion remotes where you could actually
shake them. Yeah.
What?
Do you guys remember hot coffee from San Andreas?
Well, okay, so that was so dumb, but yeah, it was.
It was still kind of. It caused a lot of controversy. I remember it got taken out of the game, and
what was hot coffee?
So it was originally there was going to be a sex mini game in GTA 3. Or no, San Andreas. In San Andreas, there's supposed to be a sex mini game, but before the game shipped out, they took it out because it would have put them at above an M rating, right? Yeah. So they were like, "Oh, we can't do that because no one buys games that are not, above M, right?" Yeah. Yep. So they took it out, kind of like why people don't do NC-17 movies, right? Yep, no one goes to see them. So they went to go do it, but when the PC version of the game released, they fucking left those files in the game. So someone was able to go in and like do like some ROM hacks to get into it. But the problem was they weren't finished. They had abandoned them way through. So it's like people having sex, but they're like fully clothed. Like, and like, they're like, it doesn't really work. But people are like, you can have sex in the game. And like, because in the actual game, when you do like, you go in for coffee, right, is what they called it in the game. You just hear the noises of sex, and then game would be over, right? Like you'd come out of the house and it'd be the next morning, and then you'd be like, okay. So you'd go in the house, you'd hear sounds, and they'd come out.
And they have an ode to it in Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I said, I think it's what they replaced coffee with tea. Like I said,
hot tea.
So you go and you take your dancer after you finish your dances at the club, and you go and have tea.
You have tea, yeah.
But honestly, I think in terms of high score, I think the banned video games, the violent video game episode, I think that was probably my favorite one.
The one I loved was the Nintendo Power one. That
was cool. Yeah, kind of like the start of the magazine and.
But why did you like the violent one? Sorry, I thought you were just
I thought you killed the segue, Scott.
I thought you were summarizing. Didn't realize you had a point to make.
No. Like I said, I like that one specifically because like I said, you had the Mortal Kombat stuff, and then it's literally funny to hear senators talk about this, and then to hear like I said the parents like I said make pleas to Congress to like hey we need to not corrupt our kids.
Please parent my child for me.
Yeah. The craziest one though was that live action. Like I said, video game where, like I said, it actually had like the security camera footage.
The Night Raid?
Night Trap. Yeah. Like what that game was originally supposed to be from the creator, and then what it ended up being, like I said, was
the discussion on that is like we have to do vampires. All right, cool, but
can't do vampires.
They can't be vampires exactly because vampires they can't be quick and they have to be like the whole thing of like. Their idea and how this slowly got bastardized that was interesting.
Well, I think the funny thing about it too was, like I said, the evolution from like, oh yeah, you can't have vampires biting people. Oh, you can't have. Like I said, then it was supposed to be ninjas, and then oh no, you can't have ninjas like throwing like stars stuff because you can't have them throwing stuff in real life. Like, oh yeah, and then you end up becoming like the trash bag monsters with the net grapple gun that like drilled into people's necks.
Yeah. So you can't have a vampire bite a person on the neck, but you can show them put a clamp around a person and inject a needle to drain their blood.
Well, that's the scene that they ended up showing it right in front of Congress.
Yeah,
because it was scary.
So, and then I just recently found out they actually remastered that game for the Switch.
Yeah,
so I am going to play it on the Switch.
You should.
Night Trap is definitely a good one. There was a couple of games that were kind of like that. Came
with the realistic video and stuff.
Yeah, where it was like you played like the movie. Basically, it was like a series of movies that you played.
Yeah. Like choose your own adventure movie.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. Where that came out as like people like that's the future of gaming, and then people were like, nah, like adventure games and shit are still the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the Nintendo Power thing was like hilarious watching them walk through like their little binder of like hand drawn like Zelda maps and shit. Like you thought these people had to know what they were talking about, but there's a very good chance that the person on the other end just had a little cheat sheet written out of what to do.
Well, like I kind of forgot that they had that hotline. Like it's kind of hard to believe that they had a hotline where gamers could call in and get tips and tricks about the game to try to beat it. Like that was the cool thing about Nintendo. I think that was so different. And they talk about this in the documentary, is that before that there were arcade games that you really never got to beat. You're constantly just injecting quarters, and maybe you would get a little bit further. Sometimes you might beat it if you spent enough money.
Yeah.
But Nintendo was actively trying to help you beat their games.
Yeah. So, and that was the big difference between console and arcade games at the time, right? Arcade games were designed to be almost unwinnable. Yeah. Like by design, you are not supposed to be able to win an arcade machine.
AKA Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, Dragon's Lair, right? Well, they're literally money sucks to get you in. But then, like console games came out, and they're like, oh, we can't have them that bad because then, like,
but they had to have an end.
So they had to have an end, right? So people had to be able to get through it and play it. But I love the idea that the gamers were like, oh, but we got to make them just hard enough that you can't do that within a single rental time frame. Now that wasn't in the documentary, I don't think, but the fact that they did kind of the whole rental, the idea of like Blockbuster renting, like
and your
Nintendo
1 day or 3 day or
your 1 day or 3 day Blockbuster rental or whatever. But like
makes sense.
That killed Nintendo profits to the point where they had to like up difficulty in games at the time to account for like, all right, we need them to get these rentals out of the way. Like you can't beat this game with the rental. You're going to rent it, then you're going to have to go and buy it to come beat it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how certain things like change the industry. And going back to something you said, Scott, how arcade games were designed to be unwinnable. I thought it was really interesting in that first episode how we learn about the guys that started doing mods to games that were in the arcade without really getting approval for it. Yeah, I thought that was, and then I didn't even realize that Pac-Man was a result of somebody just modding the original game.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Giving new AI to the ghosts.
But it was all designed to make sure that you stayed longer and to make the games harder. Like they would mod them because they were losing money. They're like, hey, we need to make some more on these games. Okay, let's mod it. Make them
no one's playing Pac-Man anymore, so let's mod it, make it harder.
And then they won they won that court case, which was kind of surprising, but it was crazy, man.
Like that wouldn't happen now.
No, I mean, I don't think that would win now.
It would happen now. If you modded a PS5 game, right? If you somehow modded the Miles Morales game.
That wasn't even modding the game, though, necessarily. They were actually adding hardware to the arcade machines.
Cabinet,
so that was like saying, like, you're adding a piece of hardware, a chipset to your PS5 to make a game, to change away the thing. Like,
good point. You wouldn't be able to, right? Somebody would come. Shut you down so fast.
Yeah, called the PS5 Ultra, and then sell it for an extra $100.
So Josh brings up the fact about the Game Genie. I'm surprised they didn't have anything about like the Game Genie or anything in that thing, because that was huge.
Yeah, me too.
Do you guys want to know a little secret about Game Genie though? Because there's a YouTube channel, Gaming Historian. He does a really good job of talking about like some of these obscure things. Do you know that like there isn't like a list of default cheats for like video games, right? Like that that Game Genie uses. What the Game Genie does is they actually had people at the time pull the program, like the code, off of games, and then like look through it and be like, if I change this 1 to a 99, does that change like the player's lives to 99? And if it works, then they'd be like, all right, the Game Genie alters the code of the game when it plays it in the console to change that value to 99. So it actually is going there and physically like picking pieces of code out and replacing them depending on what you select in the Game Genie.
Well, I just remember, like I said, so you had you had Nintendo Power. What was the Sega? There was a Sega magazine. Like, so what was that one? Was that Game Informer? No, that's not. No, it's like. It was like something. It was like something game. But I just remember, like I said, in those issues, right? So you had Nintendo Power, and then you had whatever the Sega version was. But then at the end of every issue, like I said, they'd come out with basically the new Game Genie codes.
Yeah.
Like I said, in those magazines.
Sega Visions.
Tips and tricks.
Sega Visions.
No, it was Sega Vision. There were multiple ones, but the one that was around Nintendo Power time was Sega Vision.
So by the way, it started off apparently as supposed to be Sega Power.
Oh wow! For obvious reasons, that was not allowed.
And then for obvious reasons, it had to get switched to Sega Visions at the end of the day.
I remember
after a short stint.
I remember this was a little bit later on, but I remember one of my go-tos was the Tips and Tricks magazine.
Yeah,
because it always
that was a little bit later.
Yeah, it always had it also had game news, but it had tons of content just about cheat codes and strategy guides and just
that's how you. That's how you learned about all that stuff, or about what was going to come out next. All of that before the internet, man. It was those video game magazines.
Even nowadays, when I buy a game and I want to collect everything, sometimes I go online to a walkthrough, and they're still just as thorough as they were back when I was a kid. Here's where this is located. Go here to find this.
But to be fair, the internet ruined. Games in that nature, because like. Back in the day, you could keep something as a somewhat secret without just, you just don't put it in the game guide or whatever. And like, someone will eventually figure it out and it'll get around and viral or whatever. But nowadays, as soon as everything, like within 12 hours of a game being released, you have an entire walkthrough to how to get 100% on the game.
It's true. Nowadays, it's not the same. Vin Phoenix brings up a good comment. I used to have the same experience. We would trade each other's Tips and Tricks magazines. Hey, you have this game? Cool, let me borrow it. I have this game.
That's got this map. It's got this map for Zelda. I need to figure out how to get the boomerang.
Then you get your piece of paper out and you write down everything. You write down everything, and then
dude, back in the day, I used to use grid paper to draw out like maps for Zelda or like Mario maps, like how to do the shortcut in Mario 1 for
that was the
Bowser's Castle. Like I had it on grid paper of like, go here, use this tube, and had it written out so I could lay it out in front of me and be like, all right, here's how we play.
But Scott, your mom bought you that graph paper for math class, not for video games.
And I built video game maps out of it.
Well, one thing I found interesting about the series too, and I just didn't realize it. Maybe it's just because of my age at the time, that I didn't realize that Doom was originally an online game. I had no idea that there was online multiplayer in the first Doom. I
didn't know that either.
So Doom and its I call it the Doom clone, which is Duke Nukem. That was the first one that I really played with online. Was Duke Nukem 3D. But yeah, dude, I would play. Original Quake and Doom, right? Like playing those little death matches. I mean, for fuck's sake, Doom coined deathmatch as a thing.
It's cool.
Well, then I was hoping that they would touch on it, but they didn't. So right after Doom, there was this spin-off game called Marathon, and Marathon, like I said, was the very first game from I said none other than Bungie Studios, which actually ended up becoming Halo. So Marathon was this game that, like I said, and it brought me so much joy, like I said, as a kid, is because in junior high, I said in computer club, I said we'd load up basically Marathon on all the computer lab computers because they're all Macs at the time, and like I said, it was a Macintosh game, and I said we just played all these death matches in Marathon. I remember one day, so we actually had the principal come in and said, "Oh yeah, I just want to come and and observe what's going on in the computer club," and it's literally like just like blown up like bodies. And then like I said, then it quickly got shut down. Yeah. So I said I remember I said effectively killing the computer club at my junior high.
Nice.
Way to go, Jeremy.
So randomly enough, do you guys ever remember that Wolfenstein had arcade games, but they had the actual VR arcade game for Wolfenstein where you'd put on the helmet and you could like control the play, and you play like the first couple levels of Wolfenstein. That to me was the first day I really saw my parents be like, "Oh, this is not good," because it's
you're killing Nazis
because I'm killing Hitler, and you can like look around and like this. It wasn't even like a good 3D helmet. Like you'd put on this thing and you could only like look left and right, basically. Like it wasn't like VR now, but it had this like VR headset that you could put on and play Wolfenstein.
Well, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And this going back to the whole like video games are dangerous type thing. Like Scott turned out to be a pretty okay guy. Like he's not going out killing people. Like I just think that's so ridiculous. So I agree. That episode that Jeremy was talking about, it resonated so much because we all grew up during it. And there was always this fear like, man, they're going to start really dumbing down games because the government's getting involved. It reminds me of stuff like that. Like it's just so blown out of proportion. You can play a game and not want to go kill somebody,
Well, I did, yeah. And then I said, well, I'm surprised I didn't touch on too, like I said, during the Doom episode, right? Was the whole Columbine incident, because like I said, Doom got blamed a lot for basically the violence that sort of resulted, in Columbine. I said Columbine actually happening. Yeah. And so it's just one of those things to where I said I just remember during that time there was such a huge outcry for video game violence, and it's just like I said, it's just shocking, like I said, compared to like I said what graphics and everything were back then compared to what they are now, and what they are now. Like I said, it's just like I said, you don't really hear about it anymore.
Well, that whole Congress thing impacted our lives because it did lead to the rating system, which is still in effect today. Like I forget a time before you had the little, E for everyone on video games and stuff. So it's still around.
It's going to be a little hard to see, but
just a little bit.
The virtual reality machine that played Wolfenstein. It's little teeny tiny because it's the only picture I could find of it. But it had this little helmet, right? And you had the joystick that controlled like your Doom character, and you played Doom on this little thing. And then people around you could see what you were seeing on this TV above.
That's nice, cool. like an 18-inch TV.
Yeah, a little 18-inch CRT TV.
Is that kind of like a early Virtual Boy?
Yeah, kind of
similar.
Okay, kind of the same idea.
Well, and with the rating system, right? Like I said, and I think they even alluded to this in the show. Was the rating system actually did the opposite of what they were going for? It actually sold video games because, like I said, if it was
that's M for mature.
M for mature. Like, everyone wants that. Like it did the exact.
That's true.
But to be fair,
it is so true.
To this day, like I cannot tell you how many times I've looked at people being like bitching about video games that are M for mature, right? But are made for adults. So they're like, but teenagers are gonna play that game, and be like, how are they gonna get it? Your mom and dad are gonna have to buy it for them. So fucking your fault. Like.
And it's not like our parents really cared too much. I mean, I know mine didn't.
Yeah. So I still remember the day that GTA 3 came out. I went to go pick up my copy, and there was a mom buying it for her like 9-year-old kid. And I first wanted to be like, and she was asking the guy, like, is this really like okay for kids? And he was like, no. He's like, the GTA stands for Grand Theft Auto. Like, what do you think this game is about? And I was like, in previous versions of the game, you could pay hookers for sex and beat them to death. And like, oh, you can do it in this version too. Apparently, she's like, I'm not buying this for my kid. I was like, I just ruined some kid's childhood.
Don't worry, sir. That's still available.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, I'm 18. Can I get, or can I get a copy of GTA? He's like, here you go.
Man, that was such a revolutionary game. So just to think that like the first two versions of that game were all top down games.
Yeah.
Do you know that those were supposed to be racing games? They like GTA games originally released as racing games, but they fucked up and put the police like threat level or whatever way too high, so they would like ram you off the road and do all this shit. And they found that people had more fun running from the cops and like killing civilians and stuff, which they also like programmed in the game, than actually racing. So like fucking take out the racing and just make this game about just being a criminal.
Which is it was a great discovery because I spent many hours just doing that.
Yeah, I played a lot of GTA 3 and Vice City. Yeah, Vice City was a great game.
My cousin brought over. I remember one time he brought over. It was back on when they were on. I don't even think that was on disc. I think the original GTA you could still get on floppy too. He brought over a bunch of discs and put the original GTA on my computer, and I played the living hell out of the original GTA.
One of my favorite things was to steal the fire truck, because then you could actually use the water cannon on the fire truck to shoot cars off the road.
Yeah, shoot people. And
it was such a genius idea because it combined basically a lot of different games into one game. Like you never really had a game that provided not only the shooting and the racing and like doing little mini games, but in an open world where you could totally just do whatever you wanted.
It was literally the creation of this whole genre of sandbox game, right? Like that GTA really defined this game is going to be a sandbox. I mean, you had other ones like Soul Reaver and a few other ones, but those were mostly on rails. Whereas GTA was like, if you want to just cruise around the city and do whatever you want, go for it, have fun. Just
no
go.
rules.
Well said.
No
Most
rules.
games would try to encourage you to do something or at least restrict you from going too far. But GTA is like, you want to go kill cops for 2 hours? Go ahead.
You want to try to drive the Dodo that can only get like 20 feet off the ground airplane? Do it.
Ride a BMX bicycle? You can do that.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, if you input this code, you can drop a tank into the middle of the city. Just do that.
You want to fly a crop duster?
Go hire a hooker and then kill her and get your money back?
Yeah. It's the best way to do it. I mean, in both video game and real life.
That was how much? Oh, come back for a second.
Come back here for a second.
You took $500 of my money?
Where's my bat?
No.
I'm going to run you over now. Thank you.
Like, if you really think about it, those games are kind of messed up.
They are really screwed up. The more I say, I'm like, man.
Dude, as we're talking, like, I realize that my daughter watches me play video games, and even I try not to do like messed up games around her, but sometimes like I will play stuff like I was playing Monster Hunter World earlier, and there was a monster that she's like, oh, that thing's cute, and I just killed the living shit out of it, and I was like, oh, I just kind of messed her up. Like, what am I actually teaching her as she watches me play these games?
Real quick, shout out to Ed's comment real quick. Hey, Jeremy, did you catch the pre-order on Amazon today for the new Kevin Smith? I did, but thanks to Larry, just because I said I didn't realize that it was dropping. And then I said, Larry sent me the link and I pre-ordered. So shout out to Larry.
No problem, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool looking pop.
Larry with his pops.
I caught it like an hour after it got announced too. So I did text Jeremy, but then I quickly pre-ordered one too myself, just in case it sold out by the time you saw it. But you were on top of it, and you got one locked down too. So that's good.
Yup.
But it's cool. It's Kevin wearing like his purple blazer that he wears all the time, like all the time. So
it's his new thing. I said he moved from hockey jerseys to purple blazers.
Yeah, to the purple blazer. So it's cool.
No, see, that's Kevin in director mode, right? That's his director mode outfit.
Casual Kevin is the hockey jersey.
Podcaster Kevin.
Yeah. It's perfect. So, and I think it comes out pretty soon too. So hopefully, hopefully Amazon comes.
I did see that. It was like December, I think that comes out. So
yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Real quick, since we're talking Funko, Jeremy, are you going to get any of the New York City Comic-Con exclusives that were announced this week?
No.
Not a single one.
No, because nothing interests me at all.
Not the Freddy Funko soda. Not the Masters of the Universe 10-inch supersized Beast Man.
No.
Pink Joker?
You telling me you don't want Mr. Peanut?
I mean, there's a Beetlejuice in there, though, right?
There's a pretty cool looking Beetlejuice in there.
There's just nothing that's like, man, like I'm like I gotta have it. Like this is nothing. Like it was like it's literally I don't know. Like I said, I don't mean to like talk shit. Like right, it's like hey, what do we have? Common releases do we have on for the next like 6 months? Okay, let's go ahead and slap NYCC stickers on those and bam, Comic-Con exclusives.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list right now and I don't see anything that I was like, oh, that's cool.
I'll share real quick.
They're kind of lame.
I do like the Larry will probably know this. Who's the Aquaman guy from SpongeBob? I saw they did that pop.
Yeah, I don't know. I should know
when you scroll.
It's because you put me on the spot and I don't know.
It's something in Barnacle Boy. I remember that.
Yeah, like Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man and
Barnacle Boy. Those are pretty funny. I like those.
Yeah. Those are pretty cool. I don't know. They came up with some cool stuff. Obviously, the only one that I want is Comic Book Guy.
Yes,
which is pretty cool. I have no interest in this.
That's so cool.
Worst Funko Pop ever.
Yeah.
So, is that a 2-pack? You have to buy those two together?
No, they're separate. They just got announced together, thankfully.
Okay. Thank God.
So yeah,
are you gonna go out at that Freddy Funko soda? I can see you wanting that.
I mean, I do have to give them credit for going obscure cartoons with Danny Phantom, but
and it's a cool pop too. I don't know where it went, but oh, there he is. Yeah, like it's a really cool design, right? The mold is super cool, but I don't need Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
I do like. Right, I think you guys know I'm on an Umbrella Academy kick. So I do like this. Yeah, I do like this young Ben where he's all bloody. That one's pretty cool too. So, but it's this one's like limited to 2,000. So like, there's no chance that I'm actually going to be able to get that. Jeremy, to answer your question, I don't think I'm going to try to get the Freddy Funko soda because other people because I already have the regular one, and this one just has an I Love New York shirt that doesn't do a whole lot for me. Yeah. But I might go for it because I know other people.
You want that Chase with the pizza. You want the Chase pizza shirt.
No, not really. But like but some of our friends want it. So if I'm not really trying for anything, I might go ahead and try to get just that and see if I can get it. There's that Beetlejuice too with glow in the dark. Holding the book, right, for the handbook of the recently deceased.
That's cool. I like that one.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. But there's quite a few other Beetlejuice pops out there, so I get it if you're not super excited about that one.
And Wonder Woman 84 pops for the movie that isn't even going to come out. Like
that one's super cool too, right? Funko's come a long way from that boring superhero pose where you're just kind of standing there. But yeah, I think it's hard to get excited about a movie that may or may not ever come out.
The Snake Plissken is pretty cool.
Is that the Escape from New York guy?
Escape from New York, yeah.
Yeah, that one's cool too. But Jeremy's right. That one probably could have been a common, but they're doing limited edition on that one too. So that and the Umbrella Academy ones are going to be next to impossible to get. I'm going to try to get at least the Umbrella Academy, and I'll go for the Freddy Funko one too. But I don't know. Funko Shop hasn't been too hot lately, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll try to on my side. Just because I'm not interested, but I said if I can hook up a friend. When's the release?
I don't know, October something. It's like a couple weeks, like the first week in October 8th, I think.
We could be ready. I said I'll be ready, and I'll try.
Yeah, because there's really nothing else I want, so I wouldn't mind helping somebody out with a Freddy. So if I can get it, but it's a long shot anyhow. So
yeah,
anybody, what do you got?
I said I'm getting more selective on pops anyway, so too. So
I get it. I got second bookshelf.
Oh, that looks good.
Put together, really yeah. Clean. So the one with the shelves is how I want to make it, right? I've been too lazy to put up the shelves.
My squeaky chair. I gotta adjust the height.
Yeah,
I think it looks really clean though, Larry. I really like that.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So now, like Jeremy said, like once I get this up and figure out what I have space for, which I've counted, it's going to be like exactly how many pops I have. So I'm going to have to start being super, super selective.
Totally Says totally red tomorrow. Probably during next week.
Next
Not
week,
tomorrow,
yeah.
but next week. One night next week, we'll do a totally rad.
Yeah, I didn't verbally tell Scott, but we've got bi-weekly meetings at work, and last week was my week with all the meetings, so there's just too much going on. So we got to get it on the off week. I don't know if that works for you, Scott, but I got to get into the off week for my bi-weekly meetings.
That's fine. So if we go this week, now we tried to do The Jerk, but it was hard to find a copy of it. So I think we're going to do Airplane because that's easily found. So I think we're going to talk Airplane for the next one.
Yeah, I've started it. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm only like 10 minutes in, but it's actually pretty funny. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to
it's got some really great comedy.
It's got some good sight gags. It's got the best sight gags of anything it just doesn't dwell on stuff.
And Leslie Nielsen,
throw shit in the background
Nielsen,
and you're like, what the fuck was that? Why was there that thing in the background?
And who's that other guy that's in it? Charlie Sheen's dad. What's his name?
Martin?
No, not Sheen? Martin. So not Charlie Sheen's dad. What am I talking about? The old air traffic control guy that puts the what's his name?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No. I love how they actually comment on it. It is you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's like, no, I'm this pilot guy. He's like, my dad says he's like, you tell your dad that it's hard to be.
Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges, yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of somebody's dad.
Today's the day. It's the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah. He is like the best. I really miss him because he was so funny.
Yeah. So follow the Totally Rad Movie Podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Totally Rad Pod, and we'll let you know what day we're going to do it. And you should also follow the STS Guys. We're on Instagram at STS Guys. We're on Twitter at STS Guys, and we are on Facebook at the STS Guys, and I'm Larry from the STS Guys.
Chilling like a villain.
And if you don't want to mess with this New York City Comic-Con exclusives and you just want some nice comic pops, you should go to shumistore.com. That's right. Shumi's got that mid-box guarantee. They got low flat rate shipping. And if you enter code STS Guys, you're going to save 10%. And I should have worn my Animated Apparel Company shirt today. But if you need a new t-shirt, you should go to Animated Apparel Company. They got licensed t-shirts from like Disney and DC. You can get a Batman shirt for next year's Batman Day. Animated Apparel Company. Oh, hold on. No. Go to animatedapparelcompany.com, enter code STS Guys. You're going to save 10% and get free shipping. I was skipping ahead to my favorite part because Animated Apparel Company, it's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
That's
my favorite part of the whole podcast, and it's like the last 2 minutes.
Right. And if you like podcasts, Larry,
if you like podcasts, you should check out our friends Talking Pops, who are live right now on Twitch and who will be rating in just a second. We can check out Pop Collectors Alliance. We can check out The Tyler G Show, Toy Photocast, 4 Dorksmen Geek Together, Secondary Heroes, The Average Nerd Podcast, Movie Rude Takes, The Toy Rewind Podcast, 3 Beers and a Mic, and of course, The Totally Rad Movie Podcast with me and Scott.
Killed it.
They're the best.
They're the best. I like those guys.
Thanks everybody for being here. We all appreciate you guys hanging out. As always.
Yes, very much. Thank you very much, chat. Right. Specifically, Manny, Jess, Prime to the First, Ed. Thank you guys very much for hanging out the whole time, being active in the chat. Patrick was there a long time too. And thanks again, Priscilla, for the bits.
Thank you for the bits.
You guys
for episode
I love me bits.
149 of the STS Guys. I've been Jeremy.
Hey, I'm not on mute this time.
Hey guys, I've been Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Got a
Toodaloo.
Going to raid.
Feet